at the Dry Tortugas, you could have just said it.
I could have. You can get in.
He
you
always
can get
trying
close
to
me.
like, I don't know, make
There
a
we go.
stage the situation. We just arrived at the Dry Tortugas after 2 hours of riding a boat over from Key West, and we're spending a few hours here until what, 2:45?
Yeah, 2:45. That's the time we gotta get back on the boat. So
Yeah.
we're gonna wander the fort for a little bit and go back, eat lunch, grab snorkel fins. We brought the rest of our own snorkel stuff, mask and snorkel, and then we're gonna go snorkel on the beach and hang out there for a little bit, and we'll see what else we get into. But right now we're gonna wander the fort. Good.
Yes.
So, how was the Dry Tortugas, Candace?
It was really cool. It's probably the water as blue as my glasses, y'all.
It was pretty.
Yeah.
How about the ride over?
It was beautiful. One of the things that I didn't really care for was how early we had to get up.
We did have to get up pretty early. They had us on the boat. What time did we have to show up there? We had to show up there by like 7 o'clock in the morning.
Was it 7 or 6:30?
It was pretty early.
It was pretty early.
Yeah, so that was a little bit. Then it was a 2.5 hour ride over there, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah. And it was smooth. It was, it was an easy boat ride going over there.
Yeah.
Once we got there, it was a little bit confusion when we got off the boat as far as, trying to get everybody wrangled up into what they were doing. We chose to go straight to the fort to do the fort tour first. And as a result, as you could see in some of the video, the snorkeling areas were kind of, call it silted up, but there was sand and muck floating around, so it wasn't as crystal clear. And oh, by the way, the snorkeling gear they have sucks.
Bring your own.
Bring your own if you can. The fins, garbage. Just garbage. Not good.
Yeah.
Maybe suitable for kids.
I'm saying garbage. That's pretty rough.
It was
not good.
Yeah, it was not good. I would bring your own stuff. We almost, I've got my own fins and stuff from diving. We almost brought the fins. We did bring our mask and snorkel, which was nice. But I would have much rather had my own fins because they were not very good.
Yeah, I didn't like the fins were a little tight on my feet. The where you put your toes through.
Yeah, so they weren't good. The fort, it's cool to go see a fort out in the middle of the ocean. It's constructed much like every other fort that you go to that was from the Civil War era. I mean, if you go like to Pensacola and go to Fort Barrancas, it's the same thing. You go to Fort McRae, it's the same thing. It's a little bit different scale and maybe slightly different geometry of the fort, but all in all, it's the same thing. It's a big brick building with gun ports and cannons. So it was cool to see. It wasn't anything especially special other than the fact that it took up the entire island out there, or a huge chunk of the island. So that was kind of cool to wander around, reading the little plaques about how awful the living conditions were out there. Again, island in the middle of nowhere, back in the days of sails, so food was not a regular thing. Hurricanes rolled over it, quite frequently.
It was hot.
Yeah, it was hot.
Hot as balls.
A lot of the plaques pointed out repeatedly that a lot of times the men were eating rotten food because that's just how it was. They didn't have refrigeration back then or anything. So that was kind of cool historically.
Yeah.
The snorkeling was okay. It would have been way better if we'd gone early, I think. If we'd gone early, it wouldn't have been silty and cloudy.
Like you mean when we first got to the island versus doing it after?
Yeah, after everybody else kicked it up.
Yeah.
And there was kind of a restricted area where you could snorkel and other places that you couldn't snorkel, so maybe a little bit more exploring. Or if you went out there with a private boat or something like that so you could go see the other stuff. Yeah. Or if you took the seaplane, that would be cool. I would love to do the seaplane. I just don't want to spend the money on it. I think next time we go, what'd you say you want to do, Candace?
We want to do the overnight. You can do 2 nights overnight out there. So you got to bring all your water, all your food, all your gear, and whatnot. But at least you can catch the boat over.
Yeah, ride the boat over. They have look like they have a pretty good system for your coolers and everything. So it's not like you got to pack everything in a backpack.
Yeah.
You can take a shelter, a tent, your clothes and all that, and then coolers for your food and a grill. They accommodated all that pretty well. They just put it on the back of the boat. So when we go back there, probably in December of 2023, we will probably take the camping trip, put the dogs up with somebody in Rvers because they can't go, and go camp over there for a couple nights so we can see, the stars at night, sunrise, sunset, all that stuff without all the people around, and then go snorkeling. I was thinking maybe take a paddleboard over there. So maybe do that, all without people around. So you kind of get the seaplane experience, but I think you get a little bit more than the seaplane experience because you get to stay overnight. And if we do 2 nights, that gives us two full days there.
Yep.
So obviously we go back, right?
Yep. Oh, I know one thing. If you didn't say you got anything else to add, were you done?
No, it's good. You got anything else to add?
I was going to say, bring your own lunch.
Yeah. we're kind of food snobs.
Yeah.
Most of the time you go and you get the whatever lunch they had. I can't remember if it was Jimmy John's or Subway's or something. It was like
It was Jimmy. I think it was Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John's. So it was like, you know, a big piece of bread. They're always generous with the bread because bread doesn't cost anything. And like 2 pieces of meat and some crappy lettuce and mustard.
Very little protein.
Yeah, it wasn't a good lunch. So bring your own food, bring your own snacks.
Yep. We did bring snacks.
Yeah,
but
we
didn't bring
snacks.
up. We rolled the dice to see. And lesson learned. I only been on one like cruise situation type thing. That Alaska.
Yeah,
one.
they had
Theirs is pretty good.
where they have the salmon and everything. That
Yeah.
and prime rib.
Yep.
That was a great cruise as far as food. But other than that, most of them pretty much suck.
So.
So yeah, well, then we got back. You get back early enough to, you know, catch dinner. I think when we got back, it started pouring rain when we got back, didn't it?
No,
No?
because remember I went to pick up my wallet.
Oh,
That
yeah.
I lost
Maybe
it.
that was another time.
Yeah. You know, I love you, honey. I don't. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience. Either way, I'm sure maybe someday we'll do the flyover, but it was amazing on the cruise too. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't
That's
mind
it.
doing the private boat one where you can go snorkeling on the other little islands and maybe do some diving, but you know, that gets way more expensive than hopping on the Yankee Freedom and riding over with everybody
Yeah.
else.
Yep. Well, all right, y'all. All right. Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Share this video. If you got any questions, comments, drop them below. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.